Alright, so I've never done Bantu knots before, so I'm really excited to do them. I already started on the back of my hair because part in the back is terrible. So I wanted to get that part out of the way before I started the video. But what you're going to need is some pre-stretched Kaneka line hair, of course. And I'm going to try to do something with this, what's this? It's pretty much the passion twist hair. I'm going to try to have like some little dangling pieces somewhere. Don't know if it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna try. So in addition to doing this style today, I'm gonna be clipping my ends. I did a big chop to where I pretty much cut all of my hair off about 9 months ago, and yes, ponytails. So I was checking my ends after I washed and blow dried my hair and it looked like, you know, I checked about 10 strands, and of those 10 strands I probably had about just 2 strands. Of those 10 strands I had about 2 strands that needed to be clipped because the ends of them were splitting. So I figured I might as well just go ahead and clip off a little bit of hair before it spreads. But I'm glad that overall, not only did I not have very many hairs that were split, but also the split didn't go far up the shaft of my hair, so I don't have to cut a lot. So that is the benefits of taking care of your hair. So I'm gonna do those 2 little braids on the side here. One, I think it's gonna help to not have, you know, have the Bantu knots directly on the side of my head. Because how do you sleep if you have those Bantu knots on the side of your head? And I also didn't want to do mine too big. I like when they look a little bit more natural and a little bit tinier. I don't know. Alright, so in the coming month I'm going to be releasing my braid and lock gel. This is it. And I'm actually going to be using this today to clip my ends. Here's my hack, right? Because I figured I wanted to clip my ends. I wanted to clip my ends on straight hair. Reason being, when you blow dry your hair, you never really get it completely straight. And if I just take this, my hair curls up so much. But if I take this and just clip that off, I feel like it's not as accurate and you end up cutting off more than you actually need to cut off. So I was like, how can I get my hair straight? One, I don't own a flat iron because I just don't flat iron my hair at this moment in my life. So I don't have a hot comb, flat iron, anything like that. So I was like, you know what? Whenever I braid my hair and I put my braiding gel on there, it always gets nice and straight. So I cover it, and I was gonna have to use this anyway because I'm using it to style my hair. So kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So you get it as straight as you can, and then you just clip off the very end.
So for the 2 small braids on the side, I'm just using the feed-in method to add the hair in. That's where you just do your braid as you usually would. You start it as you usually would, and then you just add small pieces of hair as you go. I'm adding 3 small pieces of hair total. I like to do it that way because it helps to keep the bottom even. I don't like to borrow hair when I get to the bottom because one piece is bigger than the other. But I'm going to be doing an in-depth feed-in method tutorial very soon. So if you're interested in that, and then you're interested in seeing me do that, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on that video. So as I said, I'll be offering my braid and lock gel, which is what I'm using here to mold my hair into the ponytails. I'll be offering that within probably the next month or so if all goes well. My favorite thing about this is that, one, it's not as greasy as most braid and lock waxes, and also it doesn't have as much water, so it offers a little bit more hold. And it doesn't curl your hair up as much if you have very kinky curly hair like I do. So you get that stretch and it stays stretched out so that you can get your hair tucked into your braids as best as possible. So just make sure you stay tuned if you're interested in purchasing my braid and lock wax. But otherwise, you can still browse all of my other products. I have a ton of products that help you to style natural hair at www.kellyloganhair.com. So when you're adding your hair to your Bantu knot, you're pretty much just going to use the hair in the ponytail as the third piece in the braid. So you just wrap the connect line around and use those two strands and make the third strand for your braid your actual natural hair. Now, be mindful when you wrap these around. A lot of people will twirl the hair until it naturally starts to curl. I don't do that because it puts way too much tension on your scalp. So what I do is I twist it a little bit and then I wrap it myself, and you can kind of see how I'm styling it here, but you definitely don't want to wrap these too tight because it'll put a lot of tension on your scalp and you'll ultimately get breakage and, you know, tender scalp and sore scalp, and you don't want that. And it'll also cause those small bumps and flakes and all kind of stuff that you just want to avoid. So make sure you take care to place these properly so that they're not so tight. So what I did to get my curly ends was just add one piece of the passion twist hair at the end, and I just braided it all the way through. And now I'm just cutting off the straight pieces, which were the connect-a-line hair. So I'm cutting those pieces off, and I burnt the end where I stopped braiding. I burned that a little bit so that it would not unravel, but you want to make sure you don't burn it too much because then the hair will fall off. So just burn it a little bit and then squeeze it together.